Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? DishNet34 here, welcoming you to tonight's episode of This Week in Perfect Team, episode number 193, the penultimate set of the Perfect Team 23 cycle. Oh, man. We are getting close to the end of the Perfect Team 23 cycle. It's just this one, and then next week, and then, well, this week in Perfect Team, we'll be back in Perfect Team 24. So, we're going to make the most of these last couple weeks, y'all. All right? We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to have some fun next week. Oh, buddy. Hopefully y'all are having a great week so far. I know I have, especially, with some of my personal video game interests outside of Out of the Park Baseball. I know it's been a fantastic week for you, boy. Listen. I may or may not, Perfect Team 24 may or may not be a thing. I mean, I'm certainly hoping it's going to be a thing. I have it on, I'm like 99.999999999% sure. But you never know about that 0.000000001. So it's not 100% confirmed. I'm going to get off on technicality on that. All right, let's go ahead and get started with tonight. We have a fantastic set for you all tonight, and a couple of news items for you all tonight. So let's go ahead and start off, as always, with a look at the Perfect League standings as of 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Oh, man. Let's start off in the American Conference, as always, with the East Division, and we have the Zanarkand Aves. The Zanarkand Aves in first place with a record of 59-42. 4 games up on the Bard Owls in that division. A little bit of a close race right there. As for the AC Central Division, you have the Crozet Storm Kings in first place in that division with a record of 59-41. 2 games up on the Erie Seawolves and 3 games up on the FFS Snails. So, bit of a 3-horse race right there in that division. As for the AC West Division, oh boy, we got a close one there. We have the Jackson Generals at 59-39, a whole half game up on the Lamarinda Star Crushers at this point. CA River Plate Carp not far behind, 4.5 games back at 56-45. Liverpool Reds, there's 4. There are 4 teams above 500 in that division. Liverpool Reds, 5.5 games back at 55-46. And as for the AC West Division, as for the AC Young Division, we have the New Orleans Crescents in first place right now with a record of 55-45. 4.5 games up on the Peninsula Whips and 6 games up on the 90s expansions. Also, shout out right now to the Jackson Generals who are on a 6-game winning streak as of 8:30 p.m. tonight. Yeah, the rating. Yeah, we're gonna get to. Yeah. So here we go. Let's go over to the National Conference East Division. And you have the Puyallup Vikings in first place right now with a record of 56-43. 2 games up on the Edinburgh Diamond Devils and 7 games up on the Webster Groves Supercells. In the NC Central Division, one of the 2 tightest races in Perfect League right now, you have Taylor Swift, one of last week's Perfect League finalists, in first place right now with a record of 53-47, tied with the Philadelphia CrossFoxes at 53-47 for first place in that division. And the Melbourne Monkeys, they're not far behind either. They're at 50-49, 2.5 games back in that division. So that one, that one's gonna come right down to it, guys. That's one of the ones that are gonna be watched very closely. As for the NC West division, is a very, we'll call it an interesting race right now. Oceano Otters in first place right now with a record of 52-49, and they are the lone team above 500 in that division. You got the Seoul Lolcats in second place, 3 games back at 49-52. Canterbury Tales and New Hampshire Port Dogs tied at 4.5 games back in the division. Canterbury Tales have 1 more win and 1 more loss than the Port Dogs. And then you got the Norwood Diamonders, 6 games back. So anything can happen in that division right there. Speaking of anything can happen on who's going to win first place in the NC Seaver division. You have the Washington football team and the Merseyside Insufferables tied for the lead right now in that division. 56-42 for the Washington football team and 57-43 for the Merseyside Insufferables. And then you got the San Angelo Warbirds in third place, 6 games back. So some very interesting races going on in quite a few divisions here in Perfect League. And once again, you will be able to find out who is going to win the Perfect League on Sunday night when we broadcast the Perfect League World Series for the 2061 season. All right, so some fun stuff right there. Turn up the volume on your mic. It's already up. It's already up. I'm down here in the red on my end, y'all. So I'd say turn up the volume. All right, so there's a look at the Perfect League standings. So let's go ahead and move on to the couple of limited edition cards that we'll have for you all tonight. We have a couple of limit of 100 copy limited edition cards. And we start off. Oh, how many more weeks are we going to do Perfect League World Series? I believe we have 8 more trophies to give out. I have a feeling we're going to be going until until they're all gone, maybe, I think. I'm not 100% sure. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it shakes out. But I don't have a definitive answer on that yet. All right. Yep. And before we get to the limited edition cards, actually, just a reminder that as of right now, Platinum Series 4 cards are officially out of packs for the rest of the Perfect Team 23 cycle. So just a reminder to y'all that Platinum Series 4 now out of packs. All right. Which, yeah, there's that. All right, here's your first limited edition card of the evening, and we have. Oh man, this is gonna be a fun one, y'all. All right, this is a good one because, you know, I was looking at this guy's Baseball Reference stat sheet earlier tonight, and you know, this guy had a really good early career, and this is a card from that guy from early in this guy's career, which you know, he was I believe one of the top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting that year, but actually had a better year the next year in his sophomore season than he had in his first year, and that, my friends, is 59 overall. From the 1979 Atlanta Braves, third baseman Bob Horner. 79 BABIP, 93 power, 50 avoid K, 90 contact, 41 gap, and 23 on the eye. Some very interesting splits right here. Got 85 BABIP, 92 power, 49 avoid K, 94 contact, 43 gap, and 22 I against righties. Interesting stuff right here. They actually have a little more power against lefties with a 99 power, which is very interesting, and a little bit more avoid K, but not going to get a lot of BABIP against lefties right here. 79 contact, 34 gap power, 27 I against lefties. He can play first base and he can play third base as well. Some decent-ish defense. I mean, nothing to write home about, really. 57 range, 55 error, 72 arm, and 50 on the turn double play. Don't have this guy run. Just don't have this guy run. 6 speed, 6 stealing, 20 on the base running. Oof. Yeah. So Bob Horner, in his 1979 season, let's dive in to Bob Horner's stats here. Hit 314, 346, 350, 552 in the 1979 season for the Braves. 33 home runs, 98 RBI, and a 135 OPS plus. And oh my goodness, his baseball reference pick goes hard. that hair back there he's got, oh man. Which is actually better than when he won Rookie of the Year in the 1978 season, when he hit 266, 313, 539 with 23 home runs in 89 games that year. In terms of his splits here, that 79 season, let's take a look at those. His BABIP against righties was a 342, but against lefties, it was 243. So this guy had a lot more success on the BABIP against righties than he did against lefties during this season. 22 homers against righties, 11 homers against lefties. He actually hit 334 against righties, which is absolutely insane. Bob Horner, he received one vote, just one singular vote in the 1979 NL MVP voting. His 313 total BABIP during the season was his second highest of his career, but 4.3% walk percentage, the lowest in his career, and he had a 14.4% strikeout rate, which was tied for the highest in his career. So you have some good, you have some bad with this one. So there you go. Bob Horner, limited edition 100 copy card from the Atlanta Braves in Perfect Team 23. Alrighty, next up. Oh man, we are going to an oldie but goodie right here. Let's go to a bronze card right here. And let me tell you, if you want some stuff on this guy, oh man, we're gonna bring you some stuff here. Next up is from the 1951 St. Louis Browns, 68 overall, Satchel Paige. Now this is a reliever Satchel Paige card right here. 105 stuff, 71 movement, 65 control, fastball, slider, curveball, screwball, forkball, and changeup on this guy. 23 stamina, 78 on the hold runner. Whoo, boy. Really good fastball. Pretty good curveball right there. Whoo, buddy. Lot of stuff. 108 stuff against lefties. 103 stuff against righties. Very, very interesting right there. Satchel Paige pitched in 23 games for the 1951 St. Louis Browns. This was a few years after he left Cleveland back in 1949. This was his age 44 season, and he was just as spectacular. Well, I don't know about spectacular, but 4.79 ERA on the year in 62 innings, but 3.64 FIP, which isn't too bad right there. 7 strikeouts per 9, which was his highest strikeout rate in the big leagues. Well, not in the big leagues, but in Major League Baseball, up in his Major League Baseball career. 7 strikeouts per 9, 4.2 walks per 9. Conversely, his highest walk rate of his Major League Baseball career. Let's see. This is his first of 3 years with St. Louis. Had 6 shutout innings in his first start, but next couple of innings, unfortunately, gave up a few runs right there in his debut on July 18th, 1951. And his whip was a little bit high as well. 1.548 whip. Basically a career high for Satchel Paige here. But this is a very good stuff card in bronze, especially as a reliever. This is a fun card right here, y'all. So there you go. Satchel Paige from the 1951 St. Louis Browns is it. Perfect Team 23. All right, guys. Well, want to know how I found out that Satchel Paige, those stats up there, 7 strikeouts per 9, 4.2 walks per 9, career highs in both categories? Well, that is because of our friends over at Baseball Reference, and particularly StatHead, powered by Baseball Reference. That's right. It is a wonderful resource for myself and for sports fans of any and all types. You can take a look at, who had the most home runs in this particular time frame. You can take a look at, who had the highest strikeout rate between 1914 and 1921. You can do stuff like that thanks to StatHead. And you can use code 23 OOTP25 for $25 off an annual baseball or all sports subscriptions. And again, it is not just baseball for StatHead. No. It covers multiple sports. It covers baseball. It covers football. It covers basketball. It covers hockey even. That's insane. And that is $25 off right there. That, my friends, is a steal right there. This offer expires July 1st, 2023. You can save $25 off an annual baseball or all sports subscriptions with the code 23 OOTP 25. Do they cover pickleball? Man, I tell you, if Sports Reference, Baseball Reference, gets into that pickleball market, that could definitely be a thing. I'm not sure what kind of advanced stats there would be with pickleball right there. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to some news and notes on the evening. And as you all know, Perfect Team Championship Series number 8 is this Saturday. The 8th and final Perfect Team Championship Series will occur Saturday, February 11th, beginning at noon Eastern Time, with finals coverage on the Out of the Park Developments Twitch channel. Top 128 teams from the last 5 cumulative weeks in each of our 4 formats will participate in the Perfect Team Championship Series. We did a rundown on the formats and prizes last week on the show. Jeff Badwell, the big prize out of that one. Woo boy. That's going to be a fun card, y'all. Yep, first place in each PTCS will get that PTCS exclusive Jeff Bagwell, while second through 32nd place will get new cards that we've already went over. They're pretty darn hot right there. All right, but while PTCS number 8 is this Saturday, let's talk about next Saturday, because next Saturday is Perfect Team Master Series number 2. That's right, the second Perfect Team Master Series is gonna take place on Saturday, February 18th, with games beginning at noon Eastern, with the 64 teams who finished in the top 4 or have qualified in the past 4 Perfect Team Championship Series tournaments. Ooh, boy. Oh, boy. Now, the top 32 teams in the Perfect Team Master Series will receive Perfect Team Master Series exclusive rewards. That means these rewards, you won't be finding them in packs at all. Ever. While first place, oh man. First place is going to get a super special exclusive card and win that trophy you see on the left side right there. Oh my goodness. Ooh, buddy. Now, the winner of Perfect Team Master Series number 2, whoever wins it, will be moving on to the second Perfect Team World Championship to take on the defending champs, the Seattle Aftershocks, in a live managed one-game head-to-head showdown. Oh, man. Well, I remember doing that back in October, November or so. That was fun to do. That was fun to coordinate. And man, oh man, this next one, going to be even more fun. Not the Seattle Mud Crabs? No. No, the Mud Crabs are too good for the Master Series. Oh, gracious. Oh, gracious. But, now, a lot of you have been wondering, okay, what's the format going to be for this Master Series? Okay, there's a lot of things that we could do with this. But the format is going to be determined right now. That is right, everybody. Because right now, it is time to bring back something, oh man, that I thought I would never see again. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wheel of Formats. That's right, we have several formats that have been suggested by you, the community, and there's a couple that we threw in them that we were thinking about as well as a team to decide what format is going to be the next Perfect Team Master Series tournament. Oh boy, we got some interesting ones here that we could go with. All right, so here are the selections. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 selections here. One of these will be the Perfect Team Master Series format. We have an open 1750 cap with a 1976 era and a designated hitter. We got open 1750 cap, 1999 with a DH. We got an open 1500 cap, modern day format with a designated hitter. Open 1875 cap with modern run environment and a designated hitter. You got an open 1750 cap with no special edition cards with a 1986 run environment and a designated hitter. You have an open 1650 cap with no special edition cards, 1979 run environment, and a designated hitter. Then you got a gold floor 2300 cap, 1993 run environment with a designated hitter, and you have a high silver floor 2222 cap with a 1982 run environment and a designated hitter. Alrighty. No perfect draft option for this one, unfortunately, but in just a little bit, we are going to find out what the format is going to be, folks. Who's ready to watch this wheel spin? It's time for Wheel of Formats. Here we go. What's it going to land on? What's it going to land on? Oh, it could land on anything. Let's find out. And it's going to be open 1750 cap, 1999 run environment with a designated hitter. Ooh, that's going to be a fun one right there. That is going to be a fun format coming up for the Perfect Team Master Series. Man, that's a format, all right, y'all. So there we go. Now, the question becomes, well, Dish, what are the prizes for the second Perfect Team Master Series gonna be? Well, let's find out together, shall we? Let's start with the 17th through 32nd place rewards. And we start off with 82 overall Hunter Pence peak card from the San Francisco Giants. 81 BABIP, 73 power, 69 avoid K, 91 contact, 93 gap power, 61 I. Lot better against lefties than he is against righties. 75 BABIP, 89 power, 79 avoid K, 96 contact, 100 gap power, and 65 on the eye. Kind of decent against righties in a roundabout sort of way. 83 BABIP, 68 power, 66 avoid K, 89 contact, 91 gap, 60 on the eye, but obviously not as good as he is against left-handed pitching. He can play right field. He can technically play a little bit of center field, even though, personally, I wouldn't recommend it. 74 range, 84 error, and 85 on the outfield arm. Hunter Pence, kind of had a little bit of an underrated career. Hit 279, 334, 461, 244 homers, 942 RBI in his career. He had 120 stolen bases. He had some solid years in Philly, in Houston, but San Francisco is where he kind of, made a little bit more of his mark. He was one of the better Houston players back in 07, 08, 09, back when he was first coming up coming up to the major leagues. But it was with the Giants where he won his World Series championship in 2014, I do believe it was. He hit 277 that year, 20 homers, 74 RBI, and won in 2012 as well with the Giants when he got traded from Philadelphia during that 2012 season. Played 162 games twice in both 13 and 14. Some pretty good stuff here for Hunter Pence. Very underrated player. There you go. Hunter Pence from the San Francisco Giants in Perfect Team 23. Now, as for the 9th through 16th place reward, we got an interesting one right here. And we have 88 overall shortstop from the Chicago White Sox, Jose Valentin. 60 BABIP, 82 power, 57 avoid K, 74 contact, 62 gap power, and 67 I. But, whoo, buddy. Look at that defense right there. 104 range, 71 error, 97 arm, 95 turn double play. And he can play second, he can play third, he can play short. All very, very well. A little bit better against righties in terms of hitting. Got a lot more power against righties than he does against left. Heck, he's got a lot better batting against righties than anything right here. 89 power there, 80 contact against righties, 68 I. Pretty good speed, stealing, and base running as well. 66 speed, 74 stealing, 77 on the base running. Jose Valentin. Played from 92 to 2007. Man, I forget he played that long, to be quite honest with you. Had some very good seasons with the White Sox. That's really where he made his mark between 2000 and 2004. 5 seasons of 25 or more home runs. Had 30 homers in 04 as a 34-year-old, by the way. The average, never really quite there in his time with the White Sox. Hit just 247. Like, wasn't really much of a contact hitter at all, really. kind of more of a power hitter for a shortstop. 245 homers, 816 RBI. A very interesting career Jose Valentin had between Milwaukee, Chicago, season with the Dodgers, and then the Mets for the last couple of years of his career. So very interesting reward here, especially on the defensive side here. He had some very good defensive years with the White Sox as well. In terms of defensive wins above replacement, 13.5 D-WAR in his career. That's not bad. So there's your 9th through 16th place prize for the Perfect Team Master Series. Now, as for the 5th through 8th place reward in our Perfect Team Master Series, we have ourselves a Chicago Cubs legend, and that is 94 overall third baseman Ron Santo. 79 BABIP, 95 power, 61 avoid K, 95 contact, 66 gap power, and 102 on the eye. Very solid splits right here. Very solid splits right here. Let's see. Only a 3-point difference in BABIP between lefties and righties. A 1-point difference in power. Couple point difference in avoid K. 4 points in contact. 4 points in gap. Couple points in eye. Just solid against both sides of the mound here. And he's a very good defender over at third base as well. 92 range, 83 error, 89 arm, and 66 on the turn double play. 23 speed, 83 stealing, and 54 base running. What more is there to say about Ron Santo's career? This guy, lifetime Cub, had plenty of great seasons, a few 30 homer seasons, had like a NL leader in walks for a few seasons as well. Led MLB in doubles in triples, I should say, in 1964 with 13 of them. Hit 30 homers for 4 straight seasons between 64 and 67. This guy just absolutely raked for the Cubs, and he is the 5th through 8th place reward. Now, as for 3rd and 4th place, oh goodness. If you are looking for a bat out of your second baseman, this is the guy to chase. Ladies and gentlemen, 97 overall peak card from the Houston Astros. It is Jose Altuve. 94 BABIP, 66 power, 103 avoid K, 112 contact, 108 gap power, and 59 on the eye. Look at those lefty splits. 100 BABIP, 85 power, 103 avoid K, 124 contact, 111 gap, and 60 on the eye. And look at the speed, stealing, and base running on this guy too. 98 speed, 106 stealing, 102 base running. Holy cow. Decent-ish on the bunt, 59 sack bunt, 68 on the bunt for hit. A little bit serviceable with the glove, I should say. 72 range, 70 error, 55 arm, and 68 on the turn double play. But a solid hitter against really both hands, really. Lefties and righties, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So there you go. Jose Altuve. Just, this guy, honestly, we'll see how the baseball writers want to judge the Astros scandal in 2017. But looking at the stats, kind of, might have a case for the Hall of Fame. Just kind of looking at it. Probably one of the better hitting second basemen of this generation. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see, but just looking at the stats, could be an interesting Hall of Fame case for Jose Altuve. 4 straight 200+ hit seasons, including leading MLB in a couple seasons in 14 and 16. 3-time batting champion. Led the league in stolen bases a couple of times. 56 in 2014, 38 of them in 2015. A couple of 20 homer seasons, actually a couple of 30 homer seasons in 2019 and 2021 as well. So very fun card here, Jose Altuve. But now we're getting some really good stuff here. The second place reward. Oh man, this is a good one right here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 100 overall first baseman Dan Bruthers. Oh, 102 BABIP, 79 power, 104 avoid K, 123 contact, 118 gap, and 101 on the eye. Some solid splits against both lefties and righties. 103 BABIP, 80 power, 104 avoid K, 125 contact, 121 gap, 104 eye, just against righties. Wow. Just wow. 83 speed, 82 stealing, 82. Excuse me, on the base running. And then he's got some decent defense over at first base. 58 range, 52 error, 52 arm, and 52 on the turn double play. Man, oh man, Dan Bruthers, a great dead ball era hitter right here. Played between 1879 and 1904. He started when he was 21, went all the way up until age 46, with an 8-year gap and stuff like that. But this guy, a lot of black ink on his baseball reference page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-time batting champion. Led the league in doubles 3 times. Led the league in hits 3 times. A couple of home run champ titles. He got 124 RBIs to lead the league in 1892. This guy, solid hitter, probably one of the best of his era, really, to be quite honest. So there you go. Dan Bruthers is the second place reward in Perfect Team Master Series 2. Now, first place. Oh, man. Oh, man. This guy right here is going to be probably the quintessential #1 starter in all of Perfect Team 23. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion card for Perfect Team Master Series 2 is 100 overall starting pitcher Epa Rixey. 120 stuff, 120 movement, and 113 control. 121, 113 against righties. 116, 119, 115 against lefties. Fastball, curveball, changeup combo. 109 stamina, 88 on the hold runners. This card is yoked. My word. I mean, what more can you say? What more can you say about these cards right here? Oh, man. Just absolutely insane. And Epa Rixey, you know, this guy had a really outstanding career for both Philadelphia and Cincinnati. He had quite a few 20-win seasons. Pretty decent strikeout rate of his time, 2.7. Didn't give up a whole lot of homers. Really good ERA plus in his career. Led the league in games started a couple of times. A lot of innings as well, 300 innings, quite a few years as well. A lot of ERAs below 3. This guy, just absolutely solid right here. So there you go. Eparixi from the Cincinnati Reds is the Perfect Team Masters Series 2 champion card. But that's not all that first place will get, because first place will also get every one of the 2nd through 32nd place rewards. That's solid as well. But that's still not all, because each place will also get all of the cards below their tier as additional prizes. So 2nd place, gonna get Brothers, gonna get Altuve, gonna get Santo, gonna get Valentin, gonna get Pence. 3rd and 4th, gonna get Altuve, Santo, Valentin, and Pence. 5th through 8th is gonna get Santo, Valentin, and Pence. 9th through 16th is gonna get both Valentin and Pence. And 17th through 32nd, just gonna get Hunter Pence. That is pretty cool. So that is the Master Series prize pool for next Saturday. That's going to be fun. That is going to be fun. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the content of the evening. I know we spent a lot of time on that, but let's go ahead and get started. The Penultimate set, a grab bag packable set of some cards that are not, some cards that are not yet in the game. So here we go. We're going to start out with a couple of cards in the silver levels tonight. Yes, we got a few silver cards tonight, because we start off tonight with peak second baseman from the LA Dodgers, Steve Sax. 83 BABIP, 37 power, 99 avoid K, 92 contacts, 103 gap power, and 55 on the eye. Very good against lefties. 84 BABIP, 44 power, 117 avoid K, 104 contacts, 122 gap power, and 60 on the eye. Defensively, it's a little bit mixed. 55 range, 82 error, 37 arm, 85 on the turn double play, but pretty good base runner as well. 96 speed, 95 stealing, 95 on the base running. Owner of all the unsolved crime in New York City. Maybe if the Simpsons are to be believed. Steve Sax, in his career going from 1981 to 1994. 281, 335, 358 on his career slash line. 54 home runs, 550 RBI. This guy was a 5-time All-Star. 1982 National League Rookie of the Year. 1986 Silver Slugger, but, you know, those things really quite aren't what he's well known for, because, you know, kind of in the middle of his career, I think it was in the middle of his career, is when he developed the yips. But by 1989, you know, Sax seemed to have figured it out, and, you know, kind of went from about, you know, 1983 up until that time period when he started becoming a little more consistent with his throws over to first base. And honestly, you know, a lot of people at the time called it Steve Sax syndrome. So, but yeah, he led the American League in both fielding percentage and double plays in that 1989 season. So, if Wikipedia is to be believed, Sax seemed to be completely cured of the yips at that point. But yeah, his base running prowess was also pretty good. 444 stolen bases in his career. Steve Sax is in Perfect Team 23. Alrighty, so there we go. Steve Sax. Let's move on to our next player. And you know what? Let's stay in LA. Let's stay in LA for a little bit. And let's go behind the plate here. And we go to about, let's go, you know, probably early 2000s here for our next player. And that is 79 overall catcher, Paul Lo Duca. 59 BABIP, 74 power, 102 avoid K, 84 contact, 88 gap power, and 53 on the eye. Very good against lefties and kind of serviceable against righties as well. 61 BABIP, 81 power, 116 avoid K, 95 contact, 92 gap, and 59 eye against lefties. Just against lefties right here. Can play catcher and can play a little bit of first base as well if you really want him to. 62 catcher ability, 87 on the catcher arm. So he's got a little bit of an arm behind home plate there. 13 speed, 68 stealing, 40 on the base running. A little bit of a bunter as well. 80 on the sac bunt and 54 on the bunt for hit. Now, Paul LaDuca, kind of a, he had some solid years. Both in LA. I mainly remember him for his time with the New York Mets because that was about around my formative years of baseball fandom. That's how I know Paul LaDuca with his 2-year stint with the Mets in 06 and 07. Then he got traded for Brian Schneider in 08 and all that good stuff. But his best years arguably were with the LA Dodgers. 25 homers in 2001. He got MVP votes that year, finished 19th, but still. 90 RBI that year, hit 320 that year. And actually, the next year, in 2002, had the third fewest strikeouts in MLB among players qualified for the batting title with 31. Finished third behind Jason Kendall. That's pretty cool right there. He was a 4-time All-Star in his career, 6.9% K percentage in his career. That's what? Just about 10 points below the league average for that time period right there. Hit 286, 337, 409 in his career with 80 home runs and 481 RBI. Paul LaDuca, very solid player. Well, solid player at least for the Dodgers. But he is in perfect team 23. Kind of more of a contact hitter than much of a power hitter in his career. I mean, 286 average, nothing to shake a stick at. All right, let's go into some gold cards here now. Let's go into gold here, and we start off with a very interesting, a player who had a very interesting career. That kind of got derailed a bit by just a tiny pinky finger injury that didn't heal right. And it's like what could have been if he didn't fracture that pinky finger or at least, come back quicker. And that, my friends, is 81 overall from Cleveland. It is John Romano. 60 BABIP, 83 power, 77 avoid K, 80 contact, 83 gap power, and 83 on the eye. Very good against lefties on this one. 61 BABIP, 92 power, 82 avoid K, 87 contact, 92 gap, and 97 on the eye. Now, defensively, maybe not the best defensive catcher in the game. 68 ability, 69 on the arm, 20 speed, 74 stealing, 47 on the base running. But John Romano, in his career, in his early career, when you talk about the catchers of the early 1960s, John Romano was known as one of the best ones. I mean, this guy, in 1961, hit 21 homers with a .299 batting average in what was his, third full season in the bigs. Next year, a little bit of a lower batting average, but more homers, a little bit more RBI. 25 homers, 81 RBI, 261 average. And back in 1960, he even hit 272, 16 homers, 52 RBI. This guy was looking to have a pretty darn good career. But on May 26, 1963, he fractured his little finger while making a tag at home plate. And he tried to return to play a little too soon, and the injury never healed correctly, and it affected the batting pretty much for the rest of his career. He only hit 216 from 1963 on. This guy only slashed 229, 340, 406. Compared to his early career from 1958 to around 1962, that was a 280 slash line. So he had a remarkable drop-off because of that injury right there. But overall, he hit 255, 354, 443, 129 career homers, 417 RBI. He was a four-time All-Star, both, well, in 2 seasons. There were a couple of All-Star games in 61 and 62, so. But there you go. John Romano, a very interesting story, and in Perfect Team 23. All right, let's move on to our next card of the evening, our next gold card, and oh boy. If we want to talk about guys that I forget having big pitcher contracts, this is one of them. All right, at least more of my formative years of baseball around this time. And that, my friends, is 88 overall lefty starter Barry Zito from the Oakland A's. 99 stuff, 87 movement, 65 control. Very interesting splits here. 98, 91, 59 against lefties. 99, 86, 67 against righties. Fastball, curveball, changeup, and sinker combo on this guy. 85 stamina and 56 on the hold runner. I'm kind of with you. I mean, that curveball, that curveball was a devastating pitch for Barry Zito in his career. I mean, this curveball would literally fall off the table. It was so good. Extreme fly ball guy wasn't really a power pitcher, you know. 88 to 90 on the velocity, really barely touched mid 90s in his career. But his peak was absolutely nails. And I mean nails. I mean, this guy earned the largest contract ever given to a pitcher in 2000, or at least at the time, the largest contract ever given to a pitcher in 2007 when he signed, oh gosh, what was that? He signed as a free agent with the Giants. I believe it was 7 years and a boatload of money. Let me double check the numbers on that. Let me double check those numbers. It was, oh, where is that? Yeah, 7 years, $126 million plus an $18 million option for 2014 with a $7 million buyout. That was a lot of money back in 2007. Just crazy stuff. And, you know, Barry Zito, first couple of years in San Fran, you know, maybe weren't the best. They weren't the best. When he went to San Francisco, you know, maybe a little... You know, if you're a San Francisco Giants fan, you might say, you know, you probably regret the contract. And I can see why. He never had an ERA below 4. Even in 2009, we had a 4.03. Led the league in losses once in 2008. Well, then again, the 2008 San Francisco Giants were a bit of a mess anyway. But in his time with Oakland, he was absolutely nails. 23 wins in 2002. He won the Cy Young that year. And this came after a 17-8 season in 2001 with the A's, which he had 35 games started, led MLB in that category. He was a 3-time All-Star as well. 165 and 143 on his career record. 4.04 ERA, 6.6 strikeouts per 9, 3.7 walks per 9. Very fun pitcher for gold right here. So Barry Zito in Perfect Team 23. All right, next up, let's go. Oh, man, this guy. Another fun gold card potentially right here. If we want to talk about a great Japanese outfielder for the New York Yankees, this guy is the poster child. Ladies and gentlemen, 89 overall, Hideki Matsui from the New York Yankees. Godzilla himself. 70 BABIP, 83 power, 86 avoid K, 92 contact, 95 gap, and 87 I. Woo boy. Now, a little bit splitty. A little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. 71 BABIP, 85 power, 88 avoid K, 94 contact, 100 gap, and 89 on the eye. Can play left field. Can technically play center if you really want him to. 70 range, 52 error, and 85 on the outfield arm. This guy could tear the cover off the ball, both in the States and over in Japan. This guy, 2004 season. Well, he actually came over in 2003 at age 29 to the New York Yankees. 282, 360, 462 career in Major League Baseball from 2003 to 2012. Had some stints with the Angels, the Oakland A's, and 34 disastrous games with the Tampa Bay Rays. He was a two-time All-Star, second in the 2003 AL Rookie of the Year vote to someone named Angel Baroa. Now, no disrespect to Angel Baroa. He was a fine player. But Hideki Matsui was probably better than Angel Baroa. 520 homer seasons here in the States. But that pales in comparison to some of his stats in Japan. And let me just give you a context of how great Hideki Matsui was before he came to the States, okay? This guy, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons before he came over to America, hit 34 or more home runs each season. Capped off with a 2002 season for the ages. 334, 461, 692 slash with 50 homers and 107 RBI for the Japan Series champion Yomiuri Giants that year. That is absolutely insane year. And that was before he came to the States. It had some very solid series. 2004 was a great one. 2009, at age 35, hitting 28 bombs with a 274 average for the world champion New York Yankees in that one. That is just absolutely insane. But yeah, Hideki Matsui, very great career here in the States and over in Japan. He is in Perfect Team 23. All right, let's go to some diamond cards. And we start off, you know what? Let's go back to Houston for this one. And we go to the pitcher's mound for 93 overall peak card, Dallas Keuchel. 103 stuff, 92 movement, 82 control. With a slider, changeup, sinker, and cutter combo right here. 114, 99, 88 against lefties. 99, 90, and 81 against righties. 91 stamina, 99 on the hold runners. Extreme ground ball. And 88 to 90 on the velocity. Dallas Keuchel, my goodness. When he was with the Astros, back when they stunk, but as they got better, Dallas Keuchel got better. And let me tell you, his peak from 2014 to 2017 was the stuff of legend. 55 and 34 with a 3.15 ERA, 10 complete games, and the 10th lowest OPS plus against from 2014 to 2017. This guy was the ace you wanted on your mound during that time period. My goodness. Dallas Keuchel. it had a solid career outside of those years as well. 101 and 91 career record, 3.98 ERA, 6.9 strikeouts per nine, 2.8 walks per nine. He was a 2-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glover. People forget Dallas Keuchel, really good on defense. 76 position rating over at pitcher. Very good stuff. So there you go. Dallas Keuchel from the Houston Astros is in Perfect Team 23. Not bad, not bad, not bad at all. All right, we move on to our next player. Hey, no, let's go back behind the plate for this one. Let's go back to the 1970s. Let's go back to the 70s. And we go to someone who, just recently made the Hall of Fame, just a few years ago, actually. And that, my friends, is 95 overall, Ted Simmons from the St. Louis Cardinals. 73 BABIP, 82 power, 101 avoid K, 99 contact, 93 gap, and 69. A very nice eye right there. Some interesting splits on this guy. You're going to have a little more power against lefties. Going to have a little more avoid K against righties. A little more contact as well. A little more gap. Going to have the same eye against both lefties and righties. Going to have a little more BABIP against righties as well. But very good avoid K against righties at 102. Very good power at 88 against lefties. 72 catcher and 54 at first base. 72 catcher ability, 73 on the catcher arm. 11 speed, 59 stealing, and 35 on the base running. Now between 1968 and 88, you hit 285, 348, 437 with 248 homers, 1,389 RBI. He was an 8-time All-Star, 1980 Silver Slugger, and has the 6th most RBI by a switch hitter all time, and the second best average by a switch hitting catcher who played 70% of his games at catcher in his career. Well, all time. So that is pretty doggone good stuff right there. Ted Simmons, legendary catcher from the St. Louis Cardinals. Twanel X with a hot take saying he's the best Cardinals catcher of all time. There's a bit of a debate between him and Yachty, but, you can definitely make the case for either of them, really. So there you go. Ted Simmons from the St. Louis Cardinals is in Perfect Team 23. All right, let's go now to our next player. We go back to the pitcher's mound, and we go back to the early 1900s. And, probably one of the biggest, what ifs. Well, I don't know about what if. Probably a what if. But a guy whose career got very tragically cut short. And that, my friends, is 97 overall from Cleveland, Addie Joss. 77 stuff, 101 movement, 105 control, fastball, curveball, changeup combo on that one. 79 stuff, 103 movement, 104 control against lefties, 76, 99, 106 against righties. Fastball, curveball, changeup combo. 110 stamina and 37 on the hold runners. Now, Addie Joss was absolutely spectacular in his career between 1902 and 1910. This guy had the stuff of legend written all over him. And in fact, this guy, has, second lowest ERA of all time among all MLB pitchers, all time, at that 1.89 ERA mark. His .968 whip is the lowest all time. This guy did not allow a whole lot of base runners. This guy only had four seasons with an ERA above 2. Everywhere else was a 1 point something. got as low as a 116 in 1908, a 159 in 1904. Both of those years he led the league. He had 4 straight 20-win seasons. All but one of his seasons, he had double-digit wins. This guy was legendary, really, in his short time in the bigs. But, unfortunately, Addy Joss, life unfortunately got cut short because of tuberculosis in 1911. And it was a big deal back then because Joss was famous as both a pitcher and actually as a sports writer in the Toledo area. This guy actually covered the 19... Oh, goodness. Let me see. I believe he covered the World Series while he was playing in it, I believe. If I am reading this correctly. I'm not 100% sure, but his death was felt in the entire baseball community, and it kind of led to the first kind of all-star game in 1911, which was played as a benefit for Joss's family in 1911. The Cleveland team invited players from the other 7 American League teams to play against them, and this brought a cavalcade of names like Home Run Baker, Ty Cobb, Eddie Collins, Sam Crawford, Walter Johnson, Tris Speaker, Gabby Street, and Smokey Joe Wood. The game was attended by approximately 15,000 fans and raised nearly $13,000, which is equivalent to $378,000 today, to help Joss's family members pay the remaining medical bills he had. That is pretty darn cool. Didn't play in the World Series. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that is, you know what? This guy had a wild career. All right. He was great as a baseball player. He was great as a sports writer and actually increased subscriptions to the Toledo Blade when he wrote for them. So that's pretty cool. Addy Joss, 97 overall from Cleveland, is in. Perfect Team 23. All right, let's move on to our next player, and it is the man they call Cobra. That is 97 overall, Dave Parker from the Pittsburgh Pirates. 97 BABIP, 88 power, 88 avoid K, 113 contact, 104 gap power, and 72 on the eye. This guy, a very interesting splits here. A little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. Some very good BABIP numbers, some pretty good power numbers, really good contact and gap guy. Probably not going to walk him probably not going to walk quite a lot, but this guy, solid contact, some solid power here. And he's a solid defender as well. 86 range, 83 error, and 101 on the outfield arm. Can really play right field. Definitely. 66 speed, 83 stealing, 75 on the base running. Dave Parker, solid career. Well, is definitely up there as someone who could be considered one of the best players of the 1970s. 290, 339, 471 on the slash line, 339 homers, 1,493 RBI. He was a 7-time All-Star. The 1978 MVP. Finished top 10 in MVP 6 times in his career. He was a 3-time Gold Glover, 3-time Silver Slugger. He won batting titles in 2 straight years in 1977 and 1978, and he became the second ever in all sports $1 million athlete. That is pretty darn cool right there. Dave Parker from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Perfect Team 23. All right, let's go back to the pitcher's mound for this next card. We go back to the dead ball era, and we have for you all 98 overall, Eddie Cicotte from the Chicago White Sox. 88 stuff, 107 movement, 102 control. A lot better against righties than he is against lefties. 93, 112, 106 compared to 82, 101, 99 against lefties. Fastball, curveball, changeup, knuckleball, and knuckle curve. 107 stamina, 64 on the hold runners. A solid movement and control guy right here. And a very solid career for Eddie Cicotte. Was part of the 8 men out. Even though he got acquitted of the gambling charges. But from 1905 to 1920, this guy had a solid career. 209 and 148 on his career record, 2.38 ERA, 3.8 strikeouts per 9, 2.3 walks per 9 as well. Led the AL in wins twice, led MLB in complete games and innings pitched in 1919 with 30 of them. 30 complete games, I should say. Now, from September 15th, 1916 to July 25th, 1917, this guy had 25 straight quality starts. That was a record that was not broken until Bob Gibson did it in 1968. Now that is a feat in and of itself of, durability for one, consistency for another. 25 straight starts of 6 innings pitched, 3 or less earned runs. Not bad, not bad, not bad at all. So there you go. Eddie Cicotte does have a knuckleball. That's pretty darn cool right there. He is in Perfect Team 23. All right, we got one more diamond for you all tonight. One more diamond for you all. And we have a pretty fun one right here from the Swingin' A's of the 1970s. 99 overall, Catfish Hunter. 99 stuff, 87 movement, 119 on the control. 103, 90, 124 against righties, 95, 83, and 114 against lefties. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup combo on this guy. 101 stamina, 36 hold runners. Now, you look at the movement, you look at extreme fly ball, and you think, dingers. And no, that's fair to think. But, the stuff, the control, they're not bad either. Right here. 224 wins and 166 losses for Catfish Hunter in his career. 3.26 ERA, 5.2 strikeouts per 9, 2.5 walks per 9. Catfish Hunter did give up quite a few homers. We're not going to sugarcoat it. All right, he did give up quite a bit of homers. He led the league in home runs, given up twice. 39 of them in 73, 28 of them in 1976 with the Yankees. This guy, he served up some meatballs. That's fair to say. Quite a few seasons above 1 homer per 9. His career home run rate is 1. So, there's that. But, good strikeout rate for the time. Pretty decent walk rate for the time as well. He was an 8-time All-Star. 1974 Cy Young Award winner. And that was part of a run in which he finished top 4 in the Cy Young in 4 straight seasons. 72, 73, 74, and 75. Pretty cool stuff. And he became the first pitcher in his time period since 1915 to win 200 games by the age of 31. That is pretty darn cool right there. And he threw the American League's first perfect game since 1922. I believe in that 1976 season. Let me double check. My facts here. Yeah, okay, 1968. May 8th, 1968. Okay, I was way off on that. Good Lord. Yep, the perfect game on May 8th, 1968. The first one in the American League since 1922. And he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1987. So there you go. Catfish Hunter from the Oakland A's is in Perfect Team 23. All right, let's get to some perfect cards, y'all. We got a few perfect cards for you all tonight to round out the set. And we start off going back to dead ball. And we have for you 100 overall catcher, Buck Ewing from the New York Giants. 85 BABIP, 78 power, 77 avoid K, 99 contact, 97 gap, and 71 eye. But he has got some really great defense at catcher. 104 catcher ability, 96 on the catcher arm. That is pretty darn cool right there. And some pretty decent speed, stealing, and base running. 89 speed, 96 stealing, 92 on the base running. This guy can also play first base, third base, and right field. It's not bad as well. 65 infield range, 58 infield error, 71 infield arm, and 57 on the turn double play. 53 range, 52 error, 55 on the outfield arm. Buck Ewing, a solid career in the dead ball era. 303 average, 351 on base, 456 slash, 71 homers, and 883 RBI in his career. This guy was the first 19th century catcher to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Led the NL in triples in the 1884 season, back when triples were a lot more common than home runs, with 20 of them. But the year before, he led the league in homers with 10 of them. So there you go. Pretty cool stuff. And was very much renowned for his offensive and defensive ability. This guy, you know, barely, if ever, had seasons below 300. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 seasons of a batting average above 300. That's pretty darn good for that time period. So there you go. Buck Ewing, very good offensive player, very good defensive player as well. Good combo there. He is in. Perfect team. 23. Next up on the roster here, we bring to you a guy they call Goose. Ladies and gentlemen, 100 overall from the New York Yankees, Rich Gossage. 131 stuff, 110 movement, and 94 on the control. Fastball, slider, changeup combo. Lot better against righties than he is against lefties. 138 stuff, 111 movement, 96 control against righties. 122, 108, 91 against lefties. 101 on the fastball, not bad. Pretty good rating on the slider with a 93. Changeup's not bad at an 84. 22 stamina, 32 on the hold runners. Goose Gossage, probably one of the better relievers of the 70s and 80s. Yeah, pretty decent guy in the 70s and 80s here in terms of his pitching ability. 1,002 career games. He actually started 37 games in his career. 310 career saves and a 3.01 ERA. 9-time All-Star, 4th most games played from 1970 to 1989. Well, among the 70s and the 80s. He had the 4th most games played. Or at least games pitched, I should say. That's pretty darn good right there. He's third all-time in relief pitcher wins with 115. And he is the career leader in blown saves with 112 of them. And famously, Mariano Rivera is better than him. Goose Gossage from the New York Yankees is in. Perfect team. 23. All right, let's move on. And we stay in the Bronx for this next card. We have a very good one here. 100 overall lefty starter from the New York Yankees, Whitey Ford. 115 stuff, 103 movement, 102 on the control. 120, 104, 104 against lefties. 114, 103, 101 against righties. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, sinker combo here. 93 stamina and 89 on the hold runners. Ground ball guy, 91 to 93. This guy, solid card right here. And he had a very, very, honestly, I think solid might be underselling it. All right. I mean, Whitey Ford. All right. Guy's a 10-time All-Star. 1961 Cy Young Award. Led the AL in wins 3 times in his career. Led in innings pitched twice. Led MLB in ERA twice. But he is the all-time wins leader with 236 wins for the New York Yankees. There's a reason why he was named Chairman of the Board. Is there a reason why he was named Chairman of the Board? Okay, he became known as the Chairman of the Board for his ability to remain calm and in command during high-pressure situations given to him in his early years with the New York Yankees. Pretty darn good right there for Mr. Ford right here. And actually, he actually fought in Korea with the U.S. Army. Yes, the U.S. Army in 1951 and 1952. So he had a couple-year break and then just went back and did his thing on the pitcher's mound when he came back. This guy, just absolute consistency. His baseball reference page is a treat. A lot of black ink on here. A 2.47 ERA in 56, 2.01 in 58. A couple of 20-win seasons in 61 and 63. This guy, you know, a lot of all-star appearances. The Cy Young in 61 when he had 39 games started, 283 innings, 25 wins. Led pretty much MLB in all of those categories. Just very great player, Whitey Ford. So there you go. Whitey Ford from the New York Yankees is in. Perfect team. 23. All right, one more card for you all tonight. One more card for you all tonight. And we have, oh man. The guy who is the dad of one of the better players in baseball nowadays. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Montreal Expos, right fielder Vladimir Guerrero. 83 BABIP, 107 power, 104 avoid K, 118 contact, 118 gap, and 68 on the eye. Oh, buddy, those lefty splits. 84 BABIP, 117 power, 101 avoid K, 122 contact, 124 gap, and 80 on the eye. Some decent defense in right field as well. 72 range, 70 outfield error, and 113 arm. 90 speed, 95 stealing, 92 on the base run. Yeah, this guy is a cannon arm. This guy is a cannon arm right here. My goodness. Vlad Guerrero. What a career this guy had. There was a reason why he was named Vlad the Impaler, because he could impale some baseballs straight up. So from 1996 to 2011, this guy, you know, wasn't much of a walks guy, really. Just like 0.6% below league average in that time period, okay? You know, he actually had some double-digit walk seasons. 13.5% in 03. 05, he had 10.3%. This guy was also a master of avoiding strikeouts. I mean, he had some, well, okay, he had some 10% seasons here and there, but compared to league average, 10.9% strikeout rate compared to 17.1% average. That's pretty darn good. 318, 379, 553 on his career slash line, 449 career home runs, 1,496 RBI. He was a 9-time All-Star, 2004 MVP with Anaheim, went his first year out west, where he had 39 home runs with a .337 batting average, led the AL in runs with 124 of them. He is an 8-time Silver Slugger, has finished in top 10 and MVP 6 times in his career. He is 4th all-time in hits by Dominican players. That's pretty darn cool as well. And he's 7th among Dominican players all-time in home runs with 449. So there you go. Vladimir Guerrero from the Montreal Expos is in Perfect Team 23. But these aren't all the cards that are going to be released tonight in this set. Ladies and gentlemen, there is the rest of the set right here. 96 overall starting pitcher Jack Coombs. You got Claude Passeau. You got Rod Beck, Heine Zimmerman, Greg Nettles, Lave Cross, Mike Hampton. Ooh, Mike Hampton. That's going to be a fun one, y'all. Kevin McReynolds, Urban Shocker, Justin Upton getting a peak card. Freddie Fitzsimmons, Ellis Kinder, and Terry Mulholland. Yeah, who has a throwing his glove to first base rating of 100. Straight up, straight up. Can Mike Hampton hit? Maybe. But there you go. The penultimate set. Here in Perfect Team 23, you got Sachs, LaDuca, Romano, Zito, Matsui, Keuchel, Simmons, Joss, Parker, Seacott, Hunter, Ewing, Gossage, Vlad, and Whitey Ford. Oh, man, some fun stuff. Some fun stuff tonight. All right, before we sign off for the evening, let's go ahead and take a look at last week's tournament top 10. The final look that we're going to have at last week's tourney top 10 for the Perfect Team 23 cycle. Red Eclipse in the daily traditional tournaments, leading the way with 261 points. DPL 1 in second with the Bard Owls in 223 points. KC86 in the Mississauga Leaf Tours in third with 219. Then it's Isadafo, Beham Bells, Dr. Sox, Admiral Relativity, KJ22, Ace Rutherford, and Frogert rounding out the top 10 last week. In the weekly traditional tournaments, it was RDT24 in the 90s expansions, taking first place with 120 points. Extaforus and the Breslow Binturongs in second place with 108. FGC won in the PGH Beaches in third with 107 points last week, followed by Isadafo, Aster 31, Moonlight Matt, Ludwig 83, Weldon 06, Glevin 3737, and Zagtastic. As for the Perfect Draft Realm, Mr. Audit rounding out first place for the daily Perfect Draft tournaments last week with 84 points. Leo Remus and the Ottawa Leaks in second place with 78. BTS Chan 7 in third place with 72 points. Dirty Cheetah, NZ Breaks, MD Zizik, Evil Smoky Bear, Holler, 808 Jers, and Fraser rounding out the top 10. And in the weekly Perfect Draft tournaments last week, Greasy Frankfurt and the Frankfurt Greasy Franks in first place with 68 points. Evil Corp and the Evil Corporation in second place with 61. Clavette 2 and the Connecticut Stripers in third with 51. Curly Karkovus, Holler, Froger, Ale Simeon, Coast, Zen Lunatic, and Mr. Audit 2 rounding out the top 10. So with the close of the Perfect Team 23, well, the Perfect Team Championship Series cycles for Perfect Team 23, let's go ahead and give a shout out to those teams that finished in the all-time top 10. Here is the all-time top 10 for the 36 weeks of PTCS qualification. The all-time tournament top 10, the daily traditional tournaments. First place, Red Eclipse and the Palatine Plutos with 6,973 points throughout this whole cycle. Oh my goodness. Dr. Socks and the Walking Dead in a distant second place with 5,934 points. Galoy and GKT in third with 5,399. Dragglefred and the Seattle Aftershocks in fourth. RDT24 in fifth. Issa Daffo in sixth. Ace Rutherford in seventh. Bluebird Silver, who was absolutely dominating early on with 4,352. KJ22 in ninth place and KC86 in 10th. In the weekly traditional tournaments, it was Aster 31 and the Minneapolis Millers in first place all time with 3,242 points. Second place went to Mac Jacks, just about 1,000 points behind with 2,487 points. C. Steinhardt and the baseball team in third with 2,406 points. I'm going to go ahead and take myself off the screen here. Cookie in fourth place with the Family Madrigal. Fifth place, the PGH Beaches and FJC1. Sixth place, Issa Daffo and the Florence Bay Cats. BKN Mets Fan and the Park Slope Bourbon Bros in seventh. Bahoot and the California Halos in eighth. Snailman and the FFS Snails in ninth. And Glevin 3737 in the Oakwood Wolverines in 10th. As for the Perfect Draft Tournament's all-time top 10, in the daily Perfect Drafts, it was a Mr. Audit sweep of the top two, Dr. Socks and Mr. Audit in first and second. 1,436 points for the Walking Dead, 1,382 points for the Mediocres. Monterre Don in third place with the Lakewood Montaires with 1,365 points. Bahoot in fourth place. Mr. Monty Fenn in fifth. Zagtastic in sixth. Waddy 3 in seventh. Aster 31 in eighth. Sequest 22 in ninth. And Sequest in 10th. And finally, the weekly Perfect Draft Tournament's all-time tournament top 10. Greasy Frankfurt and the Frankfurt Greasy Franks rounding out in first place with 599 points, just in front of Mr. Audit 2 and the Boston Red Sox with 583 points. Came down to the last day of the cycle. Wow. Isadafo 2 and the Newburgh Blue Hens in third with 582 points all time. Laertes, Cookie, Laertes 2, Preacher Boy 12, Twins Fan, Cubed, and Bahooters rounding out the top 10. Guys, thank you so much to everybody, really, who participated in any tournament throughout the entire 36 weeks of PTCS qualification. This was a fun time. This was a little bit ambitious at the beginning of the year, but I think, in my personal opinion at least, I think this turned out pretty well. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight to This Week in Perfect Team, the penultimate set. Next week, we round out the Perfect Team 23 cycle with the final milestones missions to end off the Perfect Team 23 cycle. That's going to be fun. I will see you then next week. But tomorrow I will be back on here, I think. I'm not 100% sure because of the PTCS on Saturday. I might want to save my voice, just given that I'm, still recovering a little bit from the voice stuff. So Friday Showdown, maybe a little bit up in the air right now. I'll let you know what happens on Friday night. But do know that for sure we will be here on Saturday night for the Perfect Team Championship Series Finals. And then on Sunday night, we'll be doing the Perfect League World Series. So some fun stuff coming up this weekend on the Out of the Park Development's Twitch channel. Can't wait to see you there. Have a great night, everybody. DishNet34 signing out. Have a great night, everybody.